Okay, we are back with episode 30 of the Eric and Tony show.
Yeah.
Today we have a very special guest from a tropical island, tropical land, I should say. Ray Bay, the artist known as Ray Bay.
Hello, guys. Hello, my
The young
name is Ray Bay.
21-year-old prodigy known as Ray Bay.
Yeah.
Upcoming, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Love living. Nice to meet you. Wow, nice to be with you guys today.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
love
we're
the
happy to
energy.
have you here today. It's cool. I know we were trying to get you on for a minute, but you're a busy guy. You're busy, man.
At the
Busy.
tail end of your like tour in LA, I guess. We're catching you finally.
Finally at the end of it, but it was like a blessing of a year. Like
Yeah.
this has been probably one of the best years of my life, you know?
Well, dude, I'll say this from the word like go first meeting. You got a very positive, energetic, like energy, optimistic, which in a town is like LA, where it's just people get kind of ground down. It's refreshing to see that kind of stuff. And you're leaving to go back just because the visa, not because like it chewed you up,
Yeah.
spit you out. You still have that same, positive, optimistic energy, man. So
Yeah,
good on
man.
you, dude.
Thank you, man. I mean, it's really about the like the grind and the work ethic that
Yeah.
I have. Like, I love being like, and it's a city of workers. You know, I feel
Yeah.
like LA is full of people. Like everyone in LA wants to be in the city.
Yeah.
Like you're working to be in the city.
Exactly.
So it's like everyone's got that same kind of grind
Yeah.
mindset. You know.
Yeah.
And I kind of like it because it feeds off of me,
Yeah.
and I get to feed off of it, you know? So it keeps me motivated, keeps me going like every single day. Like even when I'm not even working in the hotel, I'm still pushing the music. Like I feel like
Yeah.
that's why hospitality is a good industry to balance like entertainment and,
Absolutely.
hospitality at the same
Yeah.
time. Cause you could,
Right.
as soon as you finish work, feel like everyone's just pushing their dream on the
Yeah.
outside of it, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
I'll save Mark some editing in the future, so we do not mention the name of where we work.
Okay, no.
Yeah.
Okay,
you're
where?
doing good.
Do a good job. Keep up
We've
the
had
work.
people on here before, and they're saying the name we work
Yeah.
and like
Down the
places
pipe. Yeah.
like people's names and addresses. I'm like, oh god, we got to edit all that shit out. I'm like, fuck. So, but yeah, it is definitely a town where, that's the one thing that everybody has in common is that they're all pursuing something
Exactly.
outside of like just a regular kind of 9 to 5. They're and usually it's something within the arts. So
Exactly.
you instantly have like a million friends because everybody you can relate to,
Yeah,
And-
exactly. You
know-
feel me? You can meet people off the street, meet people
yeah.
like working with, or you can meet people anywhere. You just find that work ethic in LA,
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you can find people who are waitresses or
Yeah.
bartenders. Everyone's still got that
Right.
that mindset. And I like it. I mean, it's something to, it's refreshing, like same how it's refreshing to you guys to
Yeah.
see me. It's refreshing to see that type of mindset because I come from a small island.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's difficult to like definitely see the bigger vision when you come from such a small place,
Right.
but you got to make sure that you have a mindset that's not only for the small island
Yeah.
because you don't want to get trapped inside of that
Right.
mindset.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Totally.
So,
But your perspective from that place is refreshing and new to people. So you have like it's a
Exactly.
cool dynamic that you have. And shit.
exactly. It is a very good
Yeah.
dynamic. And most people, when I say where I'm from, I gotta like explain it a little
Yeah.
bit more because Bermuda is not that known.
Yeah.
It's like literally a dot on the map. Like if you look at Bermuda, it's like a dot. Like you could put a marker dot and you have to zoom in
Yeah.
and zoom in order to find it. You feel
And
me?
how many people are on the island that you were
It's
born and
only
raised?
60,000 people in the island.
Damn.
Wow.
To the population of Dodger Stadium.
Yeah.
Like, fucking-
Basically, like I
Yeah.
went to a game and I was like, you could fit every Bermudian in the
Yeah.
stadium.
Yeah.
Like, we should
A couple maybe in the parking lot, but for the most part, yeah, that's fucking nuts, dude.
Facts. It's actually crazy. But I mean, it's a blessing. And I feel like, but it could also be reversive at the same time,
Yeah.
because it could be, you could be like, oh, wow, I'm from such a small culture
Yeah.
where it's like not a lot of things could get into the island or will make it out.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, it's like, dang, you could get kind of trapped in that
Yeah.
kind of mentality
Right.
where everyone knows everybody. And
But I
it's
feel like you
like-
have more of a community because of that, though.
yeah,
It's like-
exactly. But community based, like it feels like it takes a village. You know how they say it takes
Yeah.
a village to raise somebody?
yeah.
You really have that village where it's like
Yeah.
everyone's like kind of like really there
Yeah.
for you, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good place to have, like coming from a small town. Tony and I as well
Yeah.
come from a small town. So the
Nice.
same kind of thing, like you really know your neighbors, you know your community and
Exactly.
stuff. And it's nice to have that. But it's also like, a double-edged sword because like you could also get trapped there.
Everyone knows all your
'Cause-
shit. Like, oh,
Yeah.
that's right. They got a divorce. She was shit. Like all that shit.
tell you.
Yeah.
And Bermuda, I feel like the worst thing is that you don't want to date your family member.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to come back home and then
Come with
like,
paperwork,
oh, this is might be a cousin. you
Dad, I'm
know?
in love. Ooh.
Ooh,
Yeah. Well,
What's
yeah.
her last name?
Yeah, yeah.
You got kind of nervous bringing somebody.
It's a first
home.
cousin, yeah.
Yeah. Got kind of nervous, like, oh no. Do you know how long does the bloodline?
Yeah, where's the
trickle?
family
Yeah.
tree and all
Yeah.
this? Yeah, yeah.
So that's the only you got kind of scary, you know. Like I don't want to.
So you were
Yeah.
in Bermuda for how many years until you left like the first time?
So I mean, I was always traveling. I'm always been a kid. Like one thing that's a blessing for me is my parents actually got me a lot of exposure traveling.
Yeah.
So I felt kind of comfortable when I was actually first leaving for good. But the first time I left was for university and I went to Spain. That's when I
Okay.
left, like fully left the family, like, and just went for university in Spain. That's when I
How old were you?
18.
18.
Okay.
That's when I first left, and it was a beautiful adventure going to Spain. It was a whole different language,
Yeah.
but luckily the university that I went was an English-based university, so I was able to speak English, but everything outside is still Spanish. You know, so I was able to learn Spanish. That was the best blessing because coming to LA,
Yeah.
Yeah.
everyone speaks Spanish.
Yeah.
You know? It's like
I remember
crazy.
when I met you and you were starting to speak Spanish to coworkers and stuff. I'm like, man, you speak Spanish? I'm like, that's incredible. Like,
Thanks.
I wish I could speak Spanish.
Both of us
It's like-
barely speak English.
Yeah, we're still figuring it
Yeah.
out. But yeah, like, and you know, having that experience is like such an advantage. Like, you know,
Yeah.
to just go to another country and experience it, and then let alone come to America. Then that now have that as an experience. So
Exactly.
like the more experiences, the more well-rounded you are, and the more material and better art you're going to create. Like just
Exactly.
because you have all those experiences that not a
Exactly.
lot of people have. So.
I mean, I get to use it in my music as
Yeah.
well because I get to make songs in Spanish. Even though when I was first starting to write songs in Spanish, I was like, can I even try?
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like breaking the barrier, you
Yeah,
know?
So, a question
yeah.
for you: when did you start like writing music? Let's go back to that.
Oh, okay. So I probably first started writing music maybe when I was in primary school.
Okay.
I started writing music for like class projects and
Yeah.
stuff like that. I was
So,
probably,
how old do you think you were? Like,
I was
8,
probably
10?
the first time I was probably 8.
Okay.
And my mom probably helped me out with a lot of
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
songwriting.
Yeah, yeah.
And then as I got older, I know the first time I wrote one myself where I was all like, I full top to bottom and I performed it. It was that I was in middle school and I did like a little pageant thing.
Yeah,
talent
yeah.
Like
show.
a talent show
Yeah.
type thing. And I was able to write a full song and I performed it. I was like, ooh, this is
Yeah.
good. You feel me?
Yeah.
And then I stopped after that because I didn't win the pageant show. So I
Discouraged.
was kind of discouraged. But
So
then,
the funny thing is, so you're probably maybe like what, 12, 14 at the time?
yeah, I was like easy 13 at that time.
Yeah.
But then fast forward when I come to high school, and I dropped my first single,
Yeah.
right? And then I was in another pageant for my high school and I actually wound up winning that pageant with that single.
Nice.
And so like it was like a full circle kind of moment.
Redemption,
You know?
yeah.
It was like a redemption moment. I ended up winning. And it was like, dang, like, so I was like, actually, I can really take this serious,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But writing my first song, I think I was just speaking with my dad about this today,
That's great.
where I was like, I wrote it. I was doing like a little internship in high school,
Yeah.
and I was like, this is when I was like really talking about like I'm actually taking serious, not just for like a beauty, like a contest or anything like that. But I actually was like in a little internship and I had like a little 5-minute break. And then once I heard a beat that was like a song that kept replaying in my head. I was like, does the YouTube have like the instrumental to this song,
Yeah.
And I found the instrumental. And then once you start going, it had no chorus, but it was just straight bars, keep going. And then I memorized it and I started rapping it to like my friends and like as memorized. And it's like, whoa, this was pretty good.
Yeah.
So then I wrote my first single song, which was like a love song. And that's when it really started. Like I shot my first music video and I was like, okay, I'm taking this serious,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's exciting when you first create like a first song and you're like, wow, this didn't exist before.
Exactly.
Like no one has ever heard this. And then like you make it in you like no matter what, no matter what happens with it, you're so proud of it, you know?
Exactly.
And so you're just like, oh my God, this is so cool. I created something out of nothing, you know?
Out of nothing.
And then to be able to share that and then see any reaction from anybody, it gives it life. It like
Exactly.
breathes it into life, you know?
I think, and I also think music is one of the most purest, or like even like writing some poetry or writing jokes, because you're taking the idea
Yeah.
out of your head that not anyone else is already familiar with the idea. It's coming from yourself.
Right.
And you're transitioning into a frequency that everyone else can understand, you know? And it's something so much deeper because it's something that was in your head. It was nothing anyone else had, you feel me?
Yeah.
And you get to put it down into a frequency and an understanding where everyone else can relate to, you know?
Exactly.
And I think it's such a beautiful thing to see in creation, you know? Just to see like other people reacting to something that came from nothing. I think that is a beautiful.
It's the driving force, man.
Yes,
it is the addicting part.
It is the part.
You're taking words that already exist there, and the way that you arrange them, you're gonna evoke either like for comedy a laugh, or like or for music you can get the laugh, or because a lot of there's some really punchy fucking like rap lyrics and stuff.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
When people are singing your song back to you,
that's got to be a trip.
Yeah, that's the like when people are singing your chorus back to you or coming up to you like, oh, I know your song, and then I'm like. And this time I'm gonna take pictures with you. I think that's like it comes full circle. Like, dang, this is what I really do it for you. This is what I do. Like the love, and then people be like, okay, I really like this. You know what I'm saying? So I really like those moments because that keeps just like the driving force behind of it. You know, and it's like just being able to also like during the writing process is kind of being able to take what somebody else will kind of think of, like kind of thinking where somebody else may be at and kind of transition a story for them to understand, you know, not just solely for my purpose or what I'm thinking. It's kind of also think about how someone else will view it. You know what I mean? In a sense. So it's also different areas you can attack the music, I'm sure. I think comedy is probably one of the most hardest
That's
things
what I think too.
You guys have. I was even trying to tell like my girlfriend the other day, I was like, how's this like, how do you do this sometimes? Like, because you have to like think of something that they're gonna laugh to, a story that they're gonna laugh to,
right?
And then you have to kind of practice it and make it seem like this is the first time you ever saying it. It's super cool. I like it. Like I have so much respect for it. You know.
Definitely.
Thanks. Well, likewise, man. I need the arts. Both of you guys are like singers and stuff. So like and I'm a big music fan. I can only play the radio, so I can't fucking like even try to sing or carry a tune or that kind of shit. But like as my kid gets into things and stuff, I'm trying to see where he's gonna go because he's got like his mom's rhythm and shit. I'm just like, all right, he's probably gonna be like a little singer dancer and stuff like that, and like that's cool. But I'm not gonna try to like coach him on that and like me just fucking falling flat and just no, I'm good.
Yeah, no, just I feel like just let it come naturally. You know, when it's natural, that driven mentality comes with it. You know, it's a beautiful thing, especially when for me, I'm sure my dad probably saw me grow up and like elevate through it. But I didn't think it was really gonna be something big. Like when I was first doing music, I was just doing it for myself. Like it wasn't like oh, I'm gonna do this to become like a star. You know? I was just doing it just to have fun. Like I was always the kid though who was like in like middle school, I was beating on the table. I have all my friends outside. We was all be singing on the tennis court, singing some "Please Don't Take My Bacon" types of songs. Like everyone's out here, "Please don't take my bacon." I'm like, yo, this is funny. Like everyone's out here laughing and it's fun. Like that was like I was like, oh, this could be something, But it was never like just because we did this, that means that I could do make a full track. But it's definitely something.
That's a good natural progression though, because some people, and especially in this town now that you've been out here a while, you do see people that like do one thing, like that's it, this is my meal ticket. And they're like, I'm gonna do that, and it's just like, well, maybe just kind of vet a little bit more. And so it's nice to have an organic fucking like approach to that kind of stuff, where you're like, one thing leads to another and stuff. And then two, dude, like the vengeance story of like winning the fucking talent show. That's cool.
Yeah,
like,
the talent show, that was like the full circle moment. Because in middle school, I had a really good rap, and I feel like I lost to like something small. But then when I came back into my high school, and then I won it, and that was my first single. It was a song called "Telling You," and like everyone was singing the chorus. When I say everyone was singing the chorus,
that's super cool.
It was like when I and then like the verse would like everyone would kind of die down because no one really knows the verse. Like I'm singing it, and I'm speaking to the judges and everything. soon as the chorus comes back in, I'm telling you, I'm like, whoa! I could have even stopped and let everyone else sing it to the point, and I was like, whoa! Like that was a super fun moment. Like
it's fun when you're in school and you do those like talent shows. Like that's kind of like a similar story about how I started, where I promised myself I would do this talent show that my school had every year. And finally my senior year came around and I was like, shit, it's a senior year. I told myself I was going to do this no matter what. And then found a buddy that played guitar. I didn't know how to play guitar at the time. I just could sing. And so we practiced a song. It was called More Than Words by Extreme.
nice.
And it's like a lot of harmonies and stuff and very simple song. And played the song in front of like my school, which still to this day is the biggest crowd I've ever played in front of. But in my school, I think it was a few hundred people, you know, which is a lot, which is for a first like show, like it's terrifying, you know. And you know, had a great response, and you know, like, you know, people were clapping and stuff. I was like, oh wow, like I'm not horrible at this. This is like I might, maybe this is something I could do, and like that gratification and kind of like acceptance from other people was something that kind of lit the flame. And like was like, oh, maybe I could do this, you know. And then that started my music career. Same kind of a backstory, you know. But it's inspiring to have other people other than yourself or your buddy that you're doing stuff, you know, making music with, to validate it and say like, oh, hey, you could do this. Like, you know,
you could take this serious.
Just a little, all you need is a little spark, you know, just a little something, you know. But it's I think coming from a genuine place and a real place is the best takeaway for any artist to be successful or to create great art, because it's unique and it's genuine to you, and you're the only you. I'm the only me. He's the only him. You know, everybody
has their own personality.
That's the differentiating thing between you and everybody else that's already out there doing it. So, and you, if you're trying to follow a certain trend or do a certain thing or kind of be like somebody,
it's not natural. Like,
I mean, and it could be better if it was your own perspective and your own idea, you know. It just comes across, and I think people can they can smell that, like they, you know, if you're like
trying to copy something,
or you're trying to be something you're not. Like I think the audience can tell when that is happening and when it's not happening. And so whether anything happens from anything, even for yourself, you're knowing that what you did was you, and it was genuine, and it was, you know, pure and honest, and it was your perspective of the art that you're creating. And that's like the best thing about it, is that you have this kind of like diary of your art, like throughout your career. Like you'll be like, listen to something that you wrote when you were in high school, and then listen to something that you wrote last year, and you'd be like, oh man, I know exactly where my head was at, where I was feeling, like what it meant to me and all that stuff. And for a selfish reason, like you do it to kind of memorialize those moments in your life, and the residual.
All your songs are like heartbreak songs.
Yeah, but those are definitely parts of my life that affected my life. So whether good or bad, you know, it's still something that was like it's a time capsule, you know. And you get to have this little diary of like, you know, things that you've created and songs that you've done that were big parts of your life, or maybe little parts of your life. But it's cool to have that, and not a lot of people have that other than artists. Whether it's writing jokes, you're writing jokes about a certain time of your life, or a song in your life, you know.
It is like like a diary though, in a sense. Like I can see that, because you know, like how some vloggers would be like, I was just recording just to be like, this is my experience, and then they end up blowing up on something because they just was documenting their experience. But like everyone's documenting their experience in a creative type of sense, you know. I think that's such a deep, very understanding of it, because like if I was to go back to an old song or the first song I did, I could understand exactly my mindset into, and then you can see the evolving of your creativity, you know. How it got better, how you evolved in certain areas, how did you know, make a better chorus or make a better verse, you know what I'm saying? How did you learn the music, how did you fall in love with it? Because even when you take times and get breaks, because you have to take breaks for yourself, you know, just to get yourself understand what you're doing it for, feel the love again. But it's definitely a real like piece of you, you know. It's like
Yeah.
it's like a piece you're leaving towards the world, you know.
Yeah.
Like, and you leave the world, what you gonna say? I left this, you know.
Yeah.
I gave this away. I kind of
Yeah.
gave a piece of me, you know.
Yeah.
Even with the music, because I be selling CDs, like I be giving away some. I think I gave you guys some.
Oh, I have I think I have 2 or 3.
Yeah. Giving away some of my CDs, and that's only from a year's worth. I think I did 1,000 CDs that I ended up giving out. Right. And it's just like I'm leaving a piece of me in a sense, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's music is such a crazy kind of industry. You know what I mean? So the most that I could do at this space without a label or anything like that is to leave, like to make a physical copy of something that I have. You know what I mean? So I think that's the best thing. I had to give it out, you know, trying to meet new people, you know, selling it and everything, and, you know, trying to make a profit from it. And it's like, that's all that's tangible to me at the moment. You know what I mean? I don't have a huge label backing me. So I'm just got to be built with what I've got. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I always trip out when I think about any art that I've created ever. Like, is there going to be like, you know, now that it's out there, like say in like 100 years or 200 years, you know, the world still exists, right? Like somebody could like potentially come across a piece of your art or my art or his art and have an experience from it, you know.
That's the best
like,
part.
Yeah, it's like, and it's like just out, like you said, it's just out there. It's just like floating around, and like it could get picked up, and somebody could like hear a joke or listen to a song, and it could resonate with them for that moment in their life, and it could really connect with them. And that's like the kind of the magic of it all, where it's like, you know, it doesn't like success isn't like dictated by like sales or money. I think it corresponds with like, if you can affect like one person or one person can connect with what your art is, then you succeeded. You won. You won you won the race. Like that's all it takes. Is just one person be like, oh wow, like damn, that like that I got that.
I got that.
Yeah,
I understood that. You feel me?
Yeah,
that's the best part. When someone can like really resonate and they can understand where you're coming from, and just be like, wow, I feel you, you know?
Yeah.
I think that's one of the greatest responses, you know?
Yeah, it's like the best compliment you can get from any kind of art is someone just really understanding what your point was, and your feeling and genuine like emotion from what you're trying to tell and express.
And people be hitting me up all the time like, wow, oh, I just checked out your music, man. It's amazing, man. You blew my mind. I didn't think it was gonna be good. Because I feel like most people have such a bad stigma on music, especially young guys. They're like, oh, this is all right. This is gonna be, you know. Yeah. But then they get like, it's like they got a shock moment, like, whoa, actually, this is good, you know. And that's like the best kind of feeling, you know.
Yeah,
like, oh wow.
Yeah,
you know?
that's cool too. Because like, yeah, you're right. Like most people, like there's so many, especially out here, there's so many people pursuing that, and so many people creating art constantly. So after like you lived out here for a while, like he and I've been out here for almost like 17 years or something like that. So it's a million people give you their stuff, and you know some of them you get that like, oh my god, like holy shit, like
facts.
What the hell are you doing, like you know, like you feel like you found like gold or something that
facts,
nobody else knows about it.
Exactly.
But then there are those people too where you're just like, oh okay, cool, you know, like it doesn't resonate, it doesn't do any of those things, and I feel a lot of the times it doesn't resonate is because of those things that we were discussing earlier, where they're not doing it from a genuine place.
Right? They haven't found that.
Yeah, they're going for the
hype of it,
the hype, or like the celebrity or the money or all that stuff. Where like the people that are just doing it to do the art and make good art, then it's like, oh cool, you know, it's like the best shit.
I love it. I love the whole reaction part, you know, or even when performing, I'm sure. When being on stage, it's kind of like that 360 moment, man.
Yeah.
Because, you know, when you're writing music, you're writing by yourself, you know.
Yeah.
When you're writing it's all by yourself, you know. And then when you do it in front of people and you get to see that reaction, or people are dancing, or people are smiling, and people's clapping, and people's laughing, you know, it's like, whoa, like that impacted somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you're looking for the impact. You feel me? You're looking for that one special touch to it, you know. And I think that's the best. Like I be on the street sometimes, I play my song, people start reacting in front of me, I'm like, dang, like I know if like, because you can imagine if someone's reacting like that in front of you, imagine how they're reacting when they're not in front of you. You know what I mean? Someone's probably listening to like, whoa, this is cool. But then a lot of people wouldn't tell you that, because there's a lot of times I'd be listening to music, I'd be like, this is amazing, but I'm not gonna reach out to the artist and be like,
Right.
oh, this is amazing.
Yeah,
song.
yeah.
So I think it's a super cool industry, but it's just it's very hard to break into like the mega superstars, because I feel like it's a little bit sketchy when you start to get all the way out to the top.
Yeah.
But it's definitely about building with what you have, you know.
Yeah.
I'm building with anything.
But dude, you are super young, and you're already doing like so many things ahead of a lot of people out here. So like,
Yeah, 100%.
your trajectory is alady like on that rise, man. Again,
but
too,
the thing is, I think
good
I'm
product.
so far behind. In
What,
a sense,
really?
I'm such a kid.
Really?
I'm so hard on myself. I'm one of those people. Like, I think I'm so
It's a
far.
good mentality
behind.
to have, though, man. I mean, like, you know, but you should also sometimes just stop. And,
Yeah.
you know, look where you're at. Like if you're fucking hiking, running, like, you know, don't wait to get to the top to fucking look back and see what you've accomplished. Just take a fucking second and be like, dude, this is fucking dope. All right, keep on moving. You know what I mean?
Facts.
Yeah, because it's only gonna get better when you get to the top. But like, enjoy the journey too.
Exactly. Enjoy the journey.
Yeah.
too.
Most artists are their worst critics. you
Yeah,
know?
exactly.
So,
Which is a good thing to have. That's like, you know,
yeah,
because you don't want to be the fucking dude that's just like, I'm fucking killing it at everything. You're like, I don't know, bro. That's like, you're tone deaf. These jokes aren't landing. None of this shit's fucking.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah.
I'm very hard on myself though, so I try to keep it real with myself. And I also, social media is a platform where you constantly is a platform to compare yourself to other people, you know. So I see myself against like I don't really compare myself to people my age. I compare to people older than me, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah, or that have like
in that industry, you know. So I keep on going. But I do take times I be like, wow, like, you know, I definitely give myself some credit. I give yourself a round of applause sometimes. Be like, wow, you know, you did a good job, you know, you're doing wow. Because I gotta keep grounded, you know. I can't just, even when you take some losses or sometimes you just gotta keep grounded, you know.
Yeah.
Gotta be like, okay, it's a loss and it's a lesson, gotta keep moving, you know.
Yeah.
And it's all part of the process, you know.
Yeah. I think it's definitely a numbers game, you know, where like it's like the lottery, you know, you can't play you can't win unless you play.
Exactly.
And so as long as you're just cranking out material and you're constantly trying to better yourself as an artist, then, you know, that's just more lottery tickets you have that are out there.
That's gonna build. Exactly.
And, you know, again, and if you could play your whole life and never win, but you still got the tickets out there.
Exactly. And if you stop, then you never won.
Exactly.
You feel me? Like if you stop, then you will never win. So that's how I kind of look at it. Like if I stop now, then I was never gonna win anyway. If I keep on going, then I have a chance. You know what I'm saying?
But you're enjoying the process.
Exactly.
That's the other thing too. Like So what do you got right now in the hopper? I know you released something in October, right?
Yes. At least I'm like 2 months ago. I've got this big Afrobeat track that's coming.
Okay.
Like huge. I'm done it in a couple studios and a couple past the Aux events, and I've got like really good responses. Shot a music video for it maybe 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
So it's on the upcoming. Yeah. It's a huge Afrobeat track. It's kind of like a love song. It's kind of for like the ladies, you know, something to dance to as well. So that's the next direction, because I've been trying to break into the Afrobeat. I've done a whole bunch unreleased ones, but you still gotta find that right one that you wanna like. I've done like maybe 5 other Afrobeat songs before this, and then I found this one and I kept going. So it's really just about getting that right one. And like when I'm getting that response, you know, everyone's like, yeah, that's the one. That's the one. You feel me?
Dope.
So that's the next project that's gonna be coming out.
How do you go about finding your like beats and stuff, or like music? Do you have to produce the music, or do you find someone that has produced the music? And then like I was working with a rapper a couple years ago, and they have like forums or like platforms that you can find people that they just make beats and they make like, you know, loops and stuff. And you go, and I was like, I didn't know anything about this. Like, this is amazing. Like there's like and then your brain just starts going like, oh my God, like you have like, there's a million ideas now, like a song, like it's any kind of music. It's like you want a rock song or a R&B or pop or rap or anything. And there's just like millions and millions of instrumental music that you really can pick from to start creating. So is that one of the ways that you go about doing it? Or have you ever produced or like done a song from scratch, or like?
No, I actually haven't done any type of producing work. I want to, but I feel like I'm so creative. If I learn, my brain will go into a million different directions. Like I'm one of those, you feel me? and then I would like it would take too long. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like I feel like I'll be there for way too long.
You
But
guys stopped up on that shit in like
That's
the studio.
that's why I mentioned it, because it was so like kind of refreshing to hear that's an option, and that's
exactly.
an option, like a way to create, because I would get stuck in a studio for months, if not years,
like,
about
no, I like this drum effect better.
Yeah,
just,
like there's so many options,
There's
and
too
then
many options.
yeah, and when you're trying to be creative, like that stipends the kind of flow of everything, because then you're
Mhm.
not thinking about the song or the lyric or what you want to do. You're more thinking about, oh, does this sound good, or does it sound bad, or is it EQ'd right? No, and now it's like they have all the stuff there for you. It's just like they're kind of like the opposite end. Like the people that make the beats, they're like they can't come up with the lyric
They come
or
with the
the
lyrics.
sing. So
Exactly.
they're like it's like you're working together, you know,
Exactly.
with a stranger, but like you're both helping each other out at the same
Exactly.
time to be the best that you can make the beat, and the
production,
best
right.
that like, so it's like, oh shit, well, this song is really nothing but a beat unless you're on it
Exactly.
saying something about it, and vice versa, you know.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
dude, that's kind of how you got out here in the first place, though, because you had like the instrumental tracks in
yeah,
your band down
that's
in
true.
San Diego.
That's very true. I like the old school version
Yeah.
of that. Like I found my band on Craigslist, and
okay, word.
it was just instrumentals, and I was like, wow, I was like, this is crazy, you know, this is like really good stuff. And then wrote a song to it, and then came out here, and then
Exactly.
I was like, okay, but it was a band that was creating this stuff, but same thing, basically just like an older version of that, where like I found a band that played music that I liked, and just instrumental, and they didn't have anybody to make it come alive, you know, they
Right.
just had an instrument. So I was like, oh,
Exactly.
this is cool.
That's
So
that's. I mean, I think that's one of the directions I want to go in as well. It's kind of playing with a live band. That's something I'm really interested in doing.
yeah,
Because I could do like it's super easy to do with like past songs that I'm done. But
yeah,
I kind of want to take that show business live experience to
Yeah.
another level. So I think that's the next steps that I really want to really dive into. It's like working with a guitarist, a drummer,
Yeah.
and everything, just to bring that live experience
Yeah.
to life. You know what I'm saying?
or like, have you ever tried like creating like obviously, like, because I play guitar horribly, like
Mhm.
very bad, but I would work with other artists or other musicians that were phenomenal,
No.
and I could just be like kind of basically like tell them,
Play this, but better.
yeah,
Yeah,
like do
okay, like
go like
orchestrate it.
this, and
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know, like sing what I'd want them to do with their
Mhm.
guitar. They're like, play this with your drum, or like, you know, play this with the bass, and like they could just do it because they're like amazing.
That talent.
And then kind of like you work, that's like the fun part of being in a band, where like you kind of all are together creating this piece of music
Exactly.
together, and then you're like, whoa, like then you all have that,
Yeah,
like,
facts.
holy shit, we just made something that nobody heard before, and this is kind of cool sounding. And you know, it's like that's like the fun part of having a band, is being with like people and being creative together in a group.
Facts.
I found
think
that really
that's
fun.
beautiful. I wouldn't lie. I could see that whole vision because I used to be in a band in high school. I actually used to play trombone, trumpet, saxophone, and the piano. And I was in a band, but I was on the instrument side.
You play like 4 instruments?
Okay, trombone, saxophone, piano. I
Okay.
didn't do trumpet.
Okay.
I wanted to do trumpet. I didn't do trumpet. But yeah, I played 3 instruments, yes. It was super fun. I love being in the band. Like the band is the best sound. I mean, when I first started, I was probably the worst, but that's when the band was the best. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like everyone else is better than you. You
Yeah,
know what
yeah.
I'm saying? And it was super fun, like playing in the band. And then my teacher she was absolutely amazing. She was the orchestrator, and then she would like let some students actually like sing, or like be like, it would be a known song, but she would let the one student be able to be the rapper in front of the entire brand. And I was like, yeah, this is amazing.
Yeah.
And then she would tell some students, oh, play this like on the drums, and he would just be able to like just transition on the drums.
Yeah.
Some students would be able to transition on the saxophone and just make a whole different sound. And I'm like, wow, like those are the
Super
moments
cool.
where you're
Yeah.
like, wow.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I think that's what that really gave me that aspiration to be like, oh, I want to play in the band. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because like coming up with that and everyone getting on the same
Yeah.
page, and then sounds consistent and it's super nice. I think those such beautiful
Yeah.
moments, you know.
You're not
Yeah.
staying in the parameters of what the song is supposed to be. You can kind of like, do a
Exactly.
little jazz on it and shit.
Yeah, those little
Exactly.
ad libs
Yeah.
that you do, like that the audience may not even know, but like
Exactly.
like oh, he did a little more on the guitar
Yeah.
that time, and he did a little cool fill there. Oh, okay, cool. And
Exactly.
everybody's
Yeah.
kind of grooving and stuff. It's yeah, bands are definitely fun. Any bands that I've been in have always been like really great guys, really good people, really great artists. And the hardest part about being in a band is just finding people that all have the same energy
Aspiration.
and aspiration and
Right.
kind of drive to kind of do that thing and have fun.
Exactly.
Like if you're not having fun, then that's just like, no, stop. That's like my one thing that like, if I'm not having fun, then I just can't do it anymore.
Exactly.
You know?
I feel sometimes I get chills. I get like if I hear some good or I'm doing something good, I get chills sometimes. I'll be like, ooh,
Yeah.
that was it.
Oh yeah,
You
for
feel me?
sure.
I got, ooh, that was it right there. You feel me? And
Yeah.
I love those type of moments.
Yeah, those are cool.
It's like, oof, you feel me?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
damn.
It's like
can
you
really feel-
found gold or something. You're just
Exactly.
like, oh damn, like
picking up $50 off the floor.
yeah,
You know?
you're just like, this is amazing. Like that was
Facts.
like, yeah, I've had so many experiences like that with like not anything that I've even done, but hearing like a drummer or a guitarist or bass player like play something, I was like, oh shit, like
Facts.
where was that? And he's like, I just did it now. I'm like, that was amazing. You know, it's like so weird, like this, from someone that isn't in music to like understand that, but it's like so like gratifying and like so I don't know, like
It's like sometimes I think guitars are one of the most acoustic instruments. It's probably one of my favorite instruments ever. And like sometimes it's like the sounds that come out of it, and it's like, whoa, like I don't even know how to explain it sometimes because it's just like a energy or something that's like kind of takes over. It's like, damn, like it's kind of like in a sports game or something when it's like last minute and someone scores and everyone goes crazy. It's one of those inside feelings where it's like, damn, like you feel the energy, you know?
for sure.
I'm like, oh,
We
wow.
used to know a guy that was like a guitar player from Australia and shit, but like he kind of modded his like acoustic where like he was, remember that? He fucking like,
Yeah,
kinda, like-
Alex.
yeah, his literally goes by like the Alex the Guitar Man Hughes or something like that. But like he played it like he invented the fucking thing. It's just like, dude,
Yeah,
and he was like your age too,
insane.
like a young fucking kid that just like was super good at fucking guitar and just like just manipulated, like he was like, oh, you've never seen this before, and just like fucking doing these crazy ass like I can't even explain it, but I was just like mesmerized with this kid that's played an instrument I've seen 1,000 people play before, but no one ever like that.
Exactly.
And like, trying to market that is like one thing, but the live show is fucking where it's at.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Especially stuff like that. Live shows where you're at, you can always max it out with those live shows, especially with instruments like those. I love instruments like
Have
those.
you gone to any shows? So apart from like performing in LA, have you gone to like any other shows while you've been here? Like how long you been in LA for?
1 year.
Okay.
I was here for an entire year. My visa's almost up.
Yeah.
But it was probably the best year ever. I had about maybe 6 or 5 shows out here, all in different crowds. I had some open mic events that I performed at, some places in the Valley, some places in East Hollywood, stuff like that. But all the time it's really just getting the exposure, you know?
Yeah.
And then it's like hard to kind of find gigs, especially in LA, because like everyone's looking for a gig,
of course.
you know?
Right.
So, but there's also about how much people you could bring.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, like how can you sell tickets?
Yeah, you do not make money doing shows in LA. You got to go outside of town and shit. But,
Yeah.
but then you have the chance of some random fucking like connection happening or something. Or like even like I booked work out of doing bar shows and stuff. So it is what it is. But like there's also been like 5 people at shows and stuff. So it's like that's discouraging in its own right. But like,
I mean,
it's about the reps.
I will perform in front of 5 people like it's 30 million.
Yeah.
No, for real. You have to. But there's just like that thing
Same.
where like I think a lot of people are like, oh, LA. And then you're like, it's not like Idaho might be better. You know what I mean? They're just like, but yeah, man, it's good to come here and do, because we saw you fucking just smoked everybody else on the show and shit. It's not about that competition, but like you again had a different energy and it just kind of changed the mood of the room and stuff.
Exactly.
That broke the room.
I think those smaller shows are more beneficial in the greater picture of things because they're typically more intimate. So you really have everyone's attention. And then especially if they're not expecting, to see somebody great or do something like, wow, like when you're playing with like open mic stuff, and you know, they're not like, I've played a million of those shows too, where you're like, oh, it's like just the staff is there, and I'm playing to the staff, you know, but I'm like, whatever, man. Like as soon as you're on stage, you're like, I want to give the staff and the one guy that's in the audience, I want to give them like the best show I can possibly give them, and do this the best that I can, you know. And sometimes those end up being like the best like sales kind of pitch for you, because then that person will be like, I went to this thing and it was an open mic and I thought it was just gonna suck and everybody's gonna be trash, and like I went and there was this one person, or there's these two people, you know, like that were just blew my mind, like holy shit, like. And then they have this feeling of like seeing
something really
something
rare.
Yeah, seeing something really rare and really special that, you know, that they just tell people about. So there's never a bad show, you know. There's never a bad like never. I would never get discouraged about how many people. I would just, the only time I would get discouraged is if I didn't perform to the level that I hold myself at.
Do you guys still get nervous before events? I knew when I first started, like especially for my first show, like my competition show in high school, before I was a little bit nervous, like, all right, I had to give myself the pep talk. Like, do you guys give yourself the pep talk sometimes before the show? Like,
for sure.
There's still, it depends, especially when it's like a bigger show or a club show or something that's like the higher stakes thing. Right. I think you should always have that kind of nervous energy. It just kind of, and also makes you kind of like appreciate it and feel more alive, as opposed to be like, you know,
just going through the phases.
Yeah, but again, I've definitely been in those just kind of like running routines, like almost robotic, of just kind of like gonna go up and just, and you can see that like, you know, in the tapes that I watch myself, or like feeling from the energy in the room, where they're just like, oh, you're just kind of like going through this motor. And I talk fast, so I'll like motor mouth through a joke that I've done 1,000 times, and it just doesn't translate as well. Genuine.
Yeah, I had to keep myself. What things you guys do to keep yourself grounded? Like to keep yourself motivated.
Work my day job. Yeah. Just
struggling to pay rent.
Yeah. No, it's like, dude, I was doing a lot of shows in Vegas the end of last year and shit, and come back and you're fucking like, you know, like a Cinderella job. You're just like, back to fucking like, you know.
Back to the 9 to 5 days.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, I like that.
But you got to like, you know, again too, there's like, I got like, you know, you got to take care of yourself. You got to have a fucking house, you know, roof over your head, and fucking feed yourself. I got a kid, you know what I mean? Like, I'd like to just be like the struggling artist, lives in his car until he makes it and shit like that. But also I have a standard of living that I
exactly. You have to have a standard.
40, yeah.
And you have to keep yourself up to date. You have to, you know, have certain standards for yourself, you know, keep yourself motivated.
You also feel like that duality though makes you grind harder on the time that you have off, because like, if I'm going to work hard for somebody else, I want to work twice as hard for myself.
Exactly. Yeah. That's how I felt about me selling the CDs, because I feel like, especially with like music, like if you think about Apple Music, Spotify, and all these different distribution, YouTube, they're making money off of your content.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like they're getting paid off of your content.
Right.
And so I'm like, I have to figure out a way that I make money off of my own content without cut the middleman. You feel me? Because it's gotta be a way where I have to produce my own content, because I'm my own product. Yeah. Because you're just giving your own content to Apple Music, let them market it, and it's like, well, they have it now. You know what I mean? And they're making all the money from it. You know? And I don't think it even makes any sense. So I was like, I have to make a product that's mine. And that's physically mine. I brought it and I'm distributing it myself. But it feels more valued. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It feels much more valued when I go outside and I give it out. And it's like it's almost a better $10 that I made at where I'm working at. You know? Because it's like I did this. You know what I mean? From the bottom to the top, I did this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I made this $10.
I made
out
this
of nothing.
Out of nothing.
On my own like money machine, really.
Exactly.
You know?
You feel me? And I just, that's like, and then you gotta fall in love with the hustle. You gotta fall in love, you know, going outside and just, you know, talking to people, meeting new people. I'm one of those people. I could meet anybody. I can very nice. You know, I'm not like a.
To say you've never met a stranger. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a learning person. Like I could learn information from anyone. Like I'm not one of those have a over the top ego where I'm like I can't learn anything.
Right.
Like I'm open to learning new things. I'm open to evolving. I'm young still, so I still have time to, you know, evolve. I still make a lot of mistakes, which I'm very hard on myself on. Yeah. But I'm still, you know, trying to better myself. You know, it's all about the growth and you know, taking it to another level. You know,
mistakes are like the best thing to make you better. Like you No one just was like, didn't like just started, and then all of a sudden we're like, great. They're like, there was all these mistakes that they don't, like, know, people don't know about that
Exactly.
made them
It's who you
better.
are. Exactly.
Yeah. And yeah, I think it's a good mindset to have. Like, don't like get discouraged by those mistakes and just use them as like, okay, cool. That's like, I took that class and I like got to take the next class and next class, next class, but you don't have to get an A in each class. You just got to keep passing and keep going and keep moving forward.
Exactly. And one thing is you gotta stay consistent and you gotta finish. Like you gotta finish.
Follow through, man.
Follow through. Like even if you're discouraged, you signed up for it, you gotta end it. You know what I mean? I'm the type of person who doesn't really quit either. Like even when I was running in races, like I used to run a lot of track, but I was never the kid that stopped. Like one thing I told myself, if you stop, you're gonna have to catch another rhythm to keep going. So just don't stop. Even if you go slow as a turtle, just don't stop. You know what I mean? Because you have to pick yourself back up in order to keep going. And the finish line is still in the same place. So you might as well just keep going. Even if you slow down, just don't stop. You know?
The tortoise and the hare.
And I wish I had you as a coach when I was running, because I'm like, I got a side ache. I'll walk it off a little bit and try to like run again. But yeah, man.
I do think like you're in a great age and a great generation to really take advantage of like the like social medias and stuff like that that are out there that weren't there when I was started my music career. And you can really get a lot of exposure. And I find the more and more like those platforms become bigger and bigger, like the record deals and the record labels and the backing and like these monopolies that had kind of a stronghold on artists, like they don't really exist anymore.
Yeah, the grip is they're losing the grip.
Like they don't really like now, like I hear so many conversations of the opposite of like, you have a million followers on this and you have this song that blew up and you're not signed to anybody, sign with us, and they're like, I'll hear those conversations all the time and I'll be like, they don't really need you. Like they're coming to them now and like being like, hey, can we, get you? It's like, what do they add really to?
Exactly. What can you do to benefit the career?
Right.
Man, I'm already got the whole motion. I have a team. I have my fans, my solid fan base behind me. I don't really need your fan base as well when I'm already building this. But I mean, it's also a strong industry to have some support, like have a team with you. Yeah. But like once you're at a big level where you got at least 1 million streams, you got a strong fan base, you don't necessarily need a label, especially if you got a lot of good booking director or a team around you without a label standpoint who's helping you get shows and stuff like that.
Right.
Then you technically don't really need, because all the label does is really like a bank. They're just giving you money. They're loaning you money, you know, just so you could pay them back eventually. You feel me?
Yeah. It's I think it's something that like back in the day there wasn't a lot of like common knowledge of how the music industry worked, but now with social media and everything, and like there's so much transparency now that everyone's like, they know like they're just out to get as much money from the artists as they can. And like they're not like there's no good intention there. It feels like they're just there to make money off of you. And now you have these other platforms where you can make a song and it could all of a sudden just go viral. Like viral is like, that's like the new
saying,
yeah. It's so like, if you have one song that goes viral or really connects with a bunch of people, or not even a lot of people, but enough people, then that is like organically like just starts to grow. And then you're your own business, your own company, your own thing. And all you have to do is be you. Like there's, I feel like there's not like all this stuff. Like I remember when I was starting, you had to like get a CD made and you had to press it and then like, get the artist to, make the CD cover and then try to get into CD stores and like all this shit. Like, and then like I have hundreds of CDs of my old bands that like have never seen the light of day because trying to get them into stores was a thing. You had to know somebody. And now it's
you guys got placed in Best Buy in San Diego and shit. You had some...
We did, but it was still like there's so much like effort and like and then for anybody to actually see that, because there's like thousands of CDs, like
so much other people,
like you have more of a chance of someone coming across your own platform now to see that or hear that song than you would even if it was in every Best Buy.
Well, the best thing you have working for you now is like the algorithm. You know what I mean? Yeah, if you get on a fucking like an uptick on that and shit, that's somehow something daisy chains to you, because that's kind of how I find like new music. If I like an artist and all of a sudden it'll just kind of go into a radio playlist or something, and it'll find similar stuff, and That's like
Exactly.
the one cool thing about like the streaming services like Spotify or Apple
Exactly.
Music
Yeah,
and shit. But
you could definitely multiply things like that. With getting connecting with your fan base, being able to be on playlists and stuff like that,
yeah,
you could definitely get your music out there much quicker than it is obviously in like a Best Buy or
Yeah.
Right.
physically.
For sure.
But it was really I really looked at selling CDs as like just putting in the footwork because
sure.
like definitely for me coming especially from Bermuda, I'm an outsider to the United States. So
Yeah.
like I didn't get that age where I could be like 15 and do start making CDs and start giving them out. I feel like I'm kind of late on that
Yeah.
side of it because I'm only in small Bermuda, you feel me? I could only do so
Yeah.
much.
Right.
So in that sense, I feel like I was kind of late. That's why I'm putting in the footwork now. So it's like I feel like I already accomplished that kind of level,
Yeah.
so I could kind of build off of it. You know what I'm saying? Just to be able to say like I'm growing through it. You
Yeah.
know, because you gotta grow. You gotta start from somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel like being American, you kind of have that opportunity a bit earlier. You know what I'm saying? But
well, we didn't take advantage of it.
now
Like
you
It's
guys
only an
should-
advantage
Yeah.
if you take advantage of it.
You guys are
But
taking
we were
advantage.
like, I mean, I wasn't. Neither of us were like you, were like we knew what we wanted to do right out of the gate. Like I was a fucking blue collar construction worker and shit. Eric was working at a gym, and that like, just fucking like moved out here and like to try to like get and then start from square one at well, she was like 24.
That's pretty
So
good.
3 years ahead of you and stuff like that. So like, there's a lot of like
Okay, so I understand.
dumb Americans that don't take advantage of the fact that we have this kind of all this shit here. Like,
An
So
American.
where do you
Yeah.
see yourself now, like having to go back to Bermuda?
Mhm.
Like where do you see like yourself going in the future? Like you want to come back to the States? Is this like kind of lit a fire under you? Like, oh, I got to come back here and I'm
Yeah.
going to be even better and stronger and
Facts.
all that stuff. So like, what is your plan for the next, year or future? I guess I would
So
ask.
I'm going back to Bermuda definitely to try tap in. I'll definitely try to evolve as much as I can back home.
Mhm.
And then I definitely lit a fire with me. I have to come back to the States. I feel like the 1 year visa was too short, but it's only because I'm in university. That was why it was for 1 year because I
Yeah.
still
Right.
got to finish uni. Because I really want to come back. Next time it's gonna be at least for 5 years, so I can at
Nice.
least build something. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
that's gonna be a
'Cause 1
good
year
chunk.
I'm done so much, but it's like I gotta let it all go after.
Yeah,
you know
you got a
what I
little
mean?
Yeah.
taste. You got
Yeah,
a
I
little
got a little taste, and
you can
I
come back for a couple months though, intermittently.
yeah,
Right?
in betweens and stuff like that. But it was definitely just about planting seeds. I knew 1 year I had to just plant as much seeds just to get a taste because I feel like I kind of manifested this opportunity. I didn't think I was gonna come to LA until after I finished university, but I was able to get a work internship while being in school because I was like telling my mom, it's like, and then my dad too. I was like, I'm coming back LA after, like, I'm going to LA after I finish uni. Like, you guys can't stop me. Once I got
Yeah.
that degree, you can't stop me. I'm going
Yeah.
to LA. You feel me? And then actually ended up coming before, where I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
I kind of manifest. Like, I even have a picture. I drew out a picture. I was like, LA, Hollywood. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was looking at it. I was like, I could do it.
Was
And
it always Hollywood? Was it always like you wanted to come to LA specifically?
LA specifically? I have a picture. I can show you guys the picture. I even send it to you, and it has like literally Hollywood on it. And I
Yeah.
drew it. I drew it in end of year high school. I drew it in Spain, and it says Los Angeles. And this is before I even thought about having an opportunity in LA because I had another work internship I was supposed to do in Doha during the World Cup during that time.
Okay.
And then my passport didn't come in time, so then that's why I had to choose a different option. But I'm just so happy that I was even able to come to LA because like I was so manifesting this. I was like, I gotta come to LA. Like I
Yeah.
gotta find a way. And it actually came sooner than I thought. I was like, I'm thinking 2026 I'm gonna come to LA, and I actually came now. So
It's definitely a special place, and I think even myself, before I even knew anything about music or getting into that, it was just a place that kind of fascinated me, and
Facts.
like just the culture, like when growing up in the Midwest in a cold environment. You see people that skateboard and surf and ride
Facts.
bikes and the beach and the palm trees, and you're like, wow, it's like this,
Mythical place.
place.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Facts.
and then you add all the other stuff now as an adult, like, oh wow, there's all this industry here and like all like so many artistic people. I think unknowing to me was something that I was drawn to it, and then kind of had opportunities that were like, hey, he was like, hey, I'm moving back out to California, and then I was like, okay, and then I had an opportunity with a band in California. I was like, okay, I had a job lined up. I was like, okay, you know, I'm not gonna fight it, like you know, just like
stars aligned,
just let it take me where it's taken me, and it ended up here, and I couldn't be happier being here for you know, like this is home now. It's just it's really a special place. Like as much bad stuff media says about it and whatever, there's, you know, every state's got problems, but like this place is definitely home, and it's a home for artists, and it's a home for people that think outside the box and want to do something better for the world. Like I really think that's like the mission of this state is people that are trying to like
evolve themselves,
create art, evolve, and leave something behind. To somebody else, to better somebody else.
Exactly. I feel like it's a big. Even I've never been to LA, but it's like I always was like, I don't know, something's in LA. Yeah, like, you know, it's something weird. It's like the city of angels. Like it's like a stigma that's kind of in LA. It's like just the city of angels or something, you know. And I was so like, I just gotta get there. I don't know what's in there, but I just feel like something's resonated in me to go, you know. And it's not even like, you know, or like a New York or like it's not one of those. It's just different. It feels different. You know, it feels so much different than any other state, you know.
And for the first year being here, like too, like that's usually when all the crazy cool like this experiences and opportunities that you come across, you're like, oh my god, like I have this opportunity, or I've met this person, I've talked to this person, or I've, you know, like it happens so fast. And then when you're here, it's just like incredible. You're like, wow, like this has just been here the whole time. Like I just been like where I'm from and not having any of these experiences or opportunities. And like both of us, like right when we moved out here, there was like so many crazy things that, you know, I had to pinch myself so many times. Like, I can't believe this is happening. And then now being out here for so long, now it's just part of
the life. You know?
It's just like, that is not it. Like nothing really surprises you anymore. It's so that's kind of like the other side of it. But again, it's whenever I leave here, I feel like, there's so much opportunity that I'm missing out on, and great experiences that I could be like experiencing out here, opposed to where I'm from, where I know what the routine is. I know what the experience is. It's kind of like the same, eating the same ice cream every day. And out here, there's different flavors all day long, like finding new stuff you never even heard about. And it's just I'm
even like met so many superstars, like,
oh yeah,
especially where we work at. I'm like, wow, like
wow. For you to come
for me, I'm like, whoa. I'm just like, sometimes I get starstruck sometimes, or even like random places that I go, I end up meeting a superstar. I'm like, whoa, like it's just so random. That some people are so nice, you know. I'm like, wow, you know, I get to such a wow moments. You know? I'm like, dang.
But again, this is where they come to do work. So that's the thing. Is like
exactly, they're working, and I'm just, you know, just.
But you came out here for that too. So that's the thing. Is like it's
everyone's in that same mentality.
But again, you have that in common with those people that you may be like, oh my god, superstar or whatever. But then at the end of the day, they're like, I was doing your job. Like I was out here with the same ambition and same dream, or just like doing my art, and now I'm doing this, you know? And so it's like, it's so encouraging because you live in a city where all these people live, and you see them at the gas station, you see them at the grocery store, you see them at work, you see them living their lives, but also like, you know, they went through the same thing. So it's very relatable, and it's just like, oh, okay. Like that's why it's such a great community to be in, because there's inspiration everywhere.
It is
like every corner,
corner. Even meeting some people, you can have a conversation with somebody like you wasn't even planning on having a conversation with, and you just heard their experiences and how they intake things, and you're like, wow, like that changed my mindset. You know, in a sense. And I'm like, dang, you know, that's really cool. And I just, you know, live for those type of moments where you get to kind of expand your mind, you know, and like you get different frequencies, and you're like, oh wow, you know, kind of change different aspects in life, you know, because everyone has their own driven aspect in life and how they view the world. Like sometimes I even have a vision like where I kind of want to see someone else's life through their eyes. Like, cause you know how you have your own experience and you kind of go through life at a different tempo as everyone else. and then you kind of meet someone at the same moment. You're like, whoa, like, well, how did they get to that moment
Yeah,
too?
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'd be sometimes thinking about it, like it would be so cool to kind of vision somebody else's life in
Yeah.
a sense, just like even for like 30 minutes, just to see
Yeah.
how they was driving the car, or
Yeah.
Yeah.
and how they saw, like, what did they see? Like they could saw an
Yeah.
accident right in front of their eyes, and they kept going. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's super cool. But life is such a crazy, like this world is such a crazy
You
energy
don't
to it, you
you,
know?
you
Yeah.
don't know a lot of the people. You meet so many people out here that you could know somebody for years, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, like I just saw you on a bus with an ad, and like you're an
not right next
actor
to,
or
yeah.
you're a musician, and they're like,
Facts.
yeah, you didn't know that. Like, no, I have no idea who you are, but like I just know
I-
you as somebody that I talk to at work all the time, and then I was like, wow, that's so crazy, you know. So you see, like like everyone is a that's the other thing we have all in common. We're just all like people, all just trying to like do something that makes us happy,
Facts.
and that's it. And like you get to meet so many of those great stories, and in common stories of the same kind of struggles and same kind of hurdles that everyone has to go through. And like again, the only way to be successful is just to keep doing
going.
it.
You gotta just keep going. I don't ever want to stop. I don't ever want to stop. I'm so young to just keep on going. I feel like I should have popped off like 3 years ago, but
You want to.
I
Yeah,
want
yeah,
to.
exactly, yeah.
That's just my ambition, just
Yeah.
being
Yeah.
so ambitious, But as really the journey, like I'm so blessed for my journey. I'm so grateful for my journey every day of just keep working. Even my mentality when I wake up, I'm like, all right, we gotta keep going. Like
Yeah.
all right, man, you gotta keep going. Even when yesterday, you gotta forget yesterday sometimes. Even if yesterday was the biggest day, or yesterday was the smallest day ever, you gotta be like, all right, that was yesterday. You gotta, keep going, man.
Every day's a new start.
Exactly. You gotta put one foot in front of the other, even when it's good or bad. You feel me?
Yeah.
So, but I love the aspect of life. As the journey that I'm going through, I kind of really love who I'm becoming and the person who I'm being, how I treat people, because sometimes I'm a reflective person. So like I be seeing the way how other people treat me, and then I will reflect on the day that I had, and I'll be like, oh, this stuck out to me. You know what I mean? Before I go sleep, this stuck out to me. This stuck out to me. And then you don't know what you did to impact somebody else, but that stuck out to them, and
Right,
they're kind of reflecting.
They're like, what happened?
Yeah, they're like,
Yeah.
oh, dude, you know what you said to me?
Yeah.
And that's what they're reflecting on. So you got to kind of be mindful on what you say to other people. So I'm kind of mindful of what you say, because what you say in a good or bad way, they could be sitting there pondering it like at the end of the day, and that could be affecting them in a different light,
Yeah, just positive vibes.
Right. So I keep it positive, and like positive, it all attracts to you. Like if you push out negativity into the universe is gonna bring back negativity to you.
Yeah.
And if you put out positivity, then it's like it comes back to you in a sense. Like if someone who's negative all day, who likes to make trouble, that trouble is just gonna keep on finding you, and you keep searching for it. So, but that's why I just want to keep a good path. And I like frequencies. I watch my frequency in life.
Mm-hmm.
Like times when my days are going good, I could be like, oh, I could feel when my day is going good. Like say you're waiting for the bus or something, and the bus comes right there, right on time, and you didn't plan it, you didn't look at your phone, or you're waiting for a train, or like you meet someone just in a perfect moment or something like that. And like today's
Divine
flowing.
timing, man.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
divine time. It's like today's flowing.
Yeah.
And then you can feel when you're kind of slightly out of pocket, where it's like, oh, today is not my day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
But you
saying?
got to keep on trucking, man. You got to push through it.
Keep pushing through it.
Yeah.
Speaking of keep on trucking, so this is the part of the podcast where
We are out of time.
we were talking about trucking along, and where let people know where they can find you, they can listen to your music,
Okay.
and what you got going on in the future, so they can come and check out shows or buy some songs, or just support you.
I mean, you can find me almost on any social media platform at Ray Bay. My IG is probably ray.bay, but everything else is Ray Bay with a space. Super easy. I got so much music videos. I have maybe 3 music videos in the pocket, ready to go. But it's really just about
I want to hear
time.
that Afrobeats one.
Yeah, the Afrobeat one's
Yeah.
the biggest one. So I'm actually waiting just to get that video back in order to put a time frame on it. But that's the next one that's coming up. If you haven't seen it before, go check out the past tracks called He's a Star. It's a little Lemonade remix to Internet Money, who did a little song like that. But check me out on almost all platforms, man. It's been a pleasure talking with you guys, man.
Thank you for doing the
Yeah.
show.
You guys have really good energy, man. I love the
Thank you.
podcast, man. You guys are absolutely amazing, man.
Thanks, Ray.
Man.
Keep it simple. I'm at Tony Klein Comedian on Instagram, and my website is TonyKleinComedian.com. Thanks again for doing the show, man. Like,
It's a
I know you're
pleasure.
like on your way out of here, so I appreciate you like fitting time in for us. So
Yeah,
it's a
Ray.
pleasure.
This is cool.
It's absolutely
great.
amazing, man.
Yeah,
You guys are great.
Great conversation, man.
Exactly, man. It was a beautiful conversation. You guys
Yeah.
are so real, man. Love to
Thanks.
hear you guys' story, how you guys create, man. It's an absolute pleasure, guys.
thank you.
If you want to
Eric.
watch this podcast, you can go to YouTube at the Eric and Tony Show. The full episodes come out every Monday. So we do the full video version of that every Monday on YouTube at the Eric and Tony Show. The full audio version is on Spotify every Monday. And then on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, we do 60-second clips of this podcast every single day. So you'll get little clips of kind of cliff notes of what we've been talking about and interesting parts of the conversation. Also, if you'd like to support this podcast, you can go to the ericandtonyshow.com. You can purchase yourself a little beer mug if you want, or a t-shirt. We have some other apparel on there, just to help support the podcast, help us pay our hardworking producer, Mark over there. And Petty Cash Studios also is where we do this. So if you're interested in, having a podcast and starting one up, this is an excellent place to do that at. Great team of people here. And once again, Rebe, we're so happy to have had you on and
it's a
have a
pleasure,
conversation, just like really get down to some stuff and
Thanks.
yeah, good vibes and, best of luck to you. And I hope you're back in the States sooner.
So
You gotta have it back on when you get back too.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I'm gotta get to these shows.
Yeah.
Man, it's
Cool.
a pleasure, man. Absolute, man. You guys are absolutely got great energy. It's a pleasure working with you guys, man. You
Yeah,
guys
man.
are
Thank you, man.
smart individuals, man.
Appreciate
Sweet.
that. Likewise.
Thank you. All right.
We're out.
We'll see you at the next one.
Yeah.
See you guys
Peace.
later.